Well, it's not every day that something quite this exciting happens, and if you want to see what's in the box, you just wait until after these. So today, much to my delight, the postman delivered a very special box indeed. Now for anyone who's been following the channel for the last little while will notice that I've had a bit of a Shinobi kick, and as explained in each of those videos, it was all down to the Sega Master System Challenge. Now anyone who doesn't know about the Sega Master System Challenge, it's quite simply this: back 2 years ago, Ollie over at 8BitBoy UK, and the link will be in the description, decided to run this wonderful challenge where he would post a high score from one of his many Master System games and ask the gaming community to give their best shot. Now after 2 years of hosting this community contest, Ollie has decided to hang up his reins because he wants to do other things, and fair play to him. But for the final Master System Challenge he picked the game Shinobi, and along with a host of other wonderful members of the Master System Challenge community, they put together a prize pot. Now this prize pot contained a selection of Master System games, and it was meant to go to the winner of the Shinobi Challenge. What actually transpired, however, was that the two top scores in the Master System Challenge for Shinobi decided that they wanted the bottom two to battle it out for this particular prize. So with the support of the Master System community, I buckled down, played a shed load of Shinobi, and all that hard work paid off because I did come in second bottom and won this wonderful selection of prizes, which I'm glad to show you now. First thing out of the box, of course, is a customary note, and it's just a few words from Ollie congratulating me on winning this wonderful prize. More importantly, it did contain an 8BitBoy UK button badge, and that will be on display in many videos in the future, I can assure you of that. And how could you not love that little design, because Fantasy Island, I have so much nostalgia for that TV show, and it leads me on to what you're here to see, and that's the games. The games. I'll quickly fast forward through this next section as I fumble with the box, and we'll get to the very first game, which is Wimbledon, obviously on the Sega Master System. And let me point out, these are all going to be Sega Master System games. But Wimbledon's a game that I've never really played before. It's not one I took part of in the Master System Challenge, although tennis games were a guilty pleasure of mine back in the day. Sports games I wasn't big on, but there were a few genres that I did appreciate, and tennis was certainly one of those genres that I could sit down and play, especially with a friend to compete with side by side. Next out of the box we have the wonderful Lemmings, and Lemmings is a game that I've loved since I first played it right back in the early 90s on PC, and I can play it in any system. I have it for the Mega Drive, I'm still on the hunt for it for the PlayStation, and of course I have it on PC as well, so this was a fairly special addition to my particular collection anyway. A game developed by DMA Designs, a wonderful Scottish developer, and yes, they did go from these fluffy little lemons all the way to Grand Theft Auto, and who knows how they made that link. It was also published by Psygnosis, another important presence in video games for my particular tastes anyway, so you can probably tell I'm ecstatic to have this one into the collection. Next out of the box came Secret Command. Now this is quite an important game to me as well, because although Secret Command was something that I didn't play back in the day, well, not on the Master System anyway, but on the ZX Spectrum we had Rambo First Blood Part 2. Now in the US they had the license for Rambo for Secret Command. Over here in PAL regions we didn't have that license, but that's what the game was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Rambo. Now I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't take part in the Secret Command Master System Challenge because it didn't compare to the ZX Spectrum port of Rambo. Not even in the slightest, well, not in my opinion anyway, and if you want me to do a video comparison, just let me know in the comments and I'll get on to that. Next out of the box came the Ninja. Now this game is important to me yet again. Not that it was a game that I played back in the day, but it was the first Master System game that I played post 1980s, because my history with the Master System started in the late 80s and ended in the late 80s. I didn't own one myself, it was a friend who had the Master System, and the only games I played on it were Alex Kidd, Phantasy Star and the Snail game. So when Paul over at Retrobait put forward a Ninja challenge, and not the Master System challenge by the way, a completely different challenge, I thought to myself it was about time to rediscover the Master System. So the Ninja was the first Master System game that I'd played in a very long time, and it absolutely hooked me. Next out of the box came Champions of Europe, and I wish I could talk to you more about Champions of Europe, but it is in fact a football game, or if you're from North America, soccer. And if you know anything about me, 1, I'm Scottish, and 2, I come from the small town of Kilmarnock. So if you combine your knowledge of geography with your knowledge of football, you'll know that when it comes to football I know very little about it, or at least I know very little about good football. But of course it's a wonderful prize, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Master System had to offer when it came to football. Next up was World Class Leaderboard. Now this is a sport that I can get fully behind, and that's golf. It's one of the genres of the sports games that I still play even today, whereas I did play football games back in the day, more especially when I had a buddy to compete against. When it comes to golf games, I'm still buying and playing modern games, and World Class Leaderboard is probably where it all started seriously for me. Not in the Master System of course, but on the ZX Spectrum, and if you want to check out a comparison of those two ports, then just drop that down in the comments as well. I would be more than happy to oblige. But golf games without a doubt I'm happy to have as a guilty pleasure, and World Class Leaderboard is up there with the best when it comes to nostalgia for me. But be warned, if you're used to more modern golf games, the draw time it takes to get from shot to shot can be quite horrendous. Although, as the wonderful Retro Bear put it quite succinctly the other day, golf is about walking from shot to shot, so the draw time is just basically a simulation of that. Next out of the box came Land of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, and I don't think anyone can deny that the Disney games, especially on the Master System, were absolutely on point when it came to both graphics and sound. They're such wonderful games to play, and so much so even the wonderful Hapser Games decided to join the Master System challenge on this one. And not only that, but to delve back into Master System collecting. And I personally think if anyone's thinking about dipping into the Master System library for the first time, then the Disney games are some of the best places to start without a doubt. Next out of the box is World Cup Italia 90, and yeah, it's another football game. It was however in 1990, so I was 17, had plenty of friends who played video games, and absolutely beer would have been involved while we were playing this particular game. Now I didn't play it on the Master System at the time, I did play this one on the Mega Drive or the Genesis, depending where you come from in the world. And I'll be honest, my memories of it are very limited, so there's not much I can say about World Cup Italia 90 except it was probably played in a drunken haze and it was great fun at the time. Next out of the box is the wonderful Operation Wolf. Now this was a game that I played a lot of in the arcade, and I also played this one on the ZX Spectrum. So as always, if you want to see a comparison video between the ZX Spectrum port and the Master System port, well just drop that into the comments because I'd be happy to oblige again. I did however play this mostly in the arcades, and that's where obviously the game plays its best. I will have to get a light gun however so I can play this game on a CRT with the Master System and just see how it compared to my memories of the old days when it came to the arcade version of this game. Next out of the box came Super Tennis. Now yes, it's another tennis game and I do like a tennis game, but what really impressed me about this is that it's one of the Sega card games. It's not a cartridge, it comes in one of those wonderful little cards that you get, much like the Turbo Graphics or Core Graphics or PC Engine, whatever region you're in and whatever that machine was called there. So it does mean I'm going to have to get my hands on a Mark I Master System, which is what I want to get anyway. That's where my nostalgia with the machine lies. I never much did like the Mark II, the funny little bubble looking machine, but the sleeker kind of futuristic from the 70s 80s Mark I with its sharp angles and way better functionality, because obviously it came with the card reader. That's the machine I need to get into the collection, and I'll be able to play Super Tennis, the Sega card version of this game. So there you have it my friends. Who said video games doesn't get you anything? For me it got me this wonderful prize, all because I persevered with Shinobi. Again, I'd like to give a big shout out to Ollie at 8-Bit Boy UK and everyone in the Master System community. Whether you took part in the Master System challenge or not, you have a wonderful machine with some wonderful games. And now that I have possession of these games, I'll certainly be looking out for a Mark I Master System, which I'm sure will come into the collection as soon as possible. If you want to talk about any of the games that you've seen today, then drop that down into the comments, because the interaction between you and me is what makes YouTube special. It does for me anyway. If you're new to the channel and you want to check out more of my content, then I'll pop up some of these boxes here. One for the Pixel years, which will show you my early formative years of gaming from 1982 right to 1992, and of course a selection of pickup videos so you can watch how my collection has grown over the last 2 and a bit years. Thank you very much for watching as always, and until next time, cheerio!